Brett, it's hard to believe there's only 12 days now to go to the first friendly of the season at Bristol. Do you still get that same sense of excitement before every season?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to get back out there, and I'm speaking on behalf of the lads. I know they're ready and raring to go. The boys are coming back from overseas, and the guys that have been here all winter, they can't wait to get stuck into some games. And those games at Bristol are actually T20 games, which we haven't done in the past in terms of pre-season games. So it'd be really nice to, play some different teams and have a look at guys in different roles potentially. So yeah, really excited about that.
You've just come back with some of the lads from a week in Desert Springs. Just how beneficial was that?
Yeah, really beneficial to get outside and to train on grass nets was it helped us a lot. We were really grateful for the practice facilities over there. They were really good, and the guys really enjoyed their time out there. So yeah, it was a great week that we had out there. Quite intense, but the boys are ready to start playing some games now.
I've got to say, I mean, a lot of hard work and team bonding, no doubt, out there, but nice place to celebrate your birthday as well.
Yeah, I suppose you can probably tell me a bit more, but you probably don't celebrate them the older that you get. So it was nice to be out there with the boys, and yeah, we had a nice dinner for my birthday, so yeah, it was really enjoyable, thank you.
Now that's all followed on obviously from 4 months working indoors, which I guess is where the real groundwork gets laid for the forthcoming season. Yeah,
absolutely. Myself, Alan and Kadir identified areas that we think that we needed to improve on. So those weeks in at Malvern, they're tough weeks, and they're long weeks at times because you're in the same four walls. But I can't thank the boys enough for their efforts. Really, anything that we asked of them, they put their heart and soul into it, and hopefully we'll see the rewards later on in the season.
Now the county championship obviously begins in early April. We're off to Derby. How optimistic are you about the prospects in 2023 and challenging at the top part of the table?
Yeah, obviously we're really optimistic. I wouldn't be asking the guys to go out there and play if I didn't think that we could, get up that table and challenge for promotion. So that's the goal, and we want to work hard in these coming games in the pre-season, taking it into the season, and build some momentum with those first couple of games, like you said, Derby away.
A lot of plus points in red ball cricket last year when you reflect on it. But what do we need to do to take that next step forward?
Yeah, good question. I think for me it would be capitalising in bigger points in the game where it looked like it could go either way. So just those crucial points in the game is recognising them, and then how we can flip that positively and really capitalise on the win and turning those 50-50 games into positions where we can win the game.
I presume you're talking last year, Derbyshire and Glamorgan, the town were prime examples of that, weren't they?
Yeah, absolutely, and we've spoke a bit about those fixtures, and we've identified those areas that we think we could, potentially improve on. So yeah, we'll be looking to put that right in the season, but also understanding as a group of players and as a captain that not every day you can put in that performance to get across the line, and falling short at times if you do the right processes is actually, we accept that. It's when we're not doing the right things that I'll question the group, but I don't have to do that very often with this group.
Now the club look to have recruited well since last year. I mean, Matthew Waite's coming from Yorkshire and Adam Hose. I mean, the squad looks considerably stronger, and how well have those two fitted in?
Yeah, really excited about those guys joining the club. First and foremost, they're exceptional characters, really nice human beings. But on top of that, outstanding cricketers. Obviously, Adam being away in the Big Bash, we saw the quality that he brings, and unfortunately saw the quality that he brought to us at Edgbaston last year with that incredible knock. So yeah, really excited to have him amongst our group. He brings some experience, but also some knowledge in the white ball game, and then obviously the aspect of him wanting to further his red ball cricket as well. So he's aspiring to do some things in that game as well. So yeah, really excited about him. And then Matthew Waite as well. Obviously had a couple of loan spells with him. He fitted in tremendously well. Really nice guy, and he's an outstanding cricketer as well, as we saw against Leicester, I believe.
It feels like there's going to be a lot of genuine competition going into that opening game at Derby.
Yeah, it's a headache that I'm going to have, but it's a good headache. Myself, Richo and Caddy will have some decisions to make. But those games provide opportunities for guys to put their hand up, and that's exactly what we want, is competition for places.
I guess the biggest thing is finding that right balance so you can deal with all the challenges that get thrown up in 14 games of 4-day cricket.
Yeah, and also it's not just those 14 games, is it? I think if you look at the schedule, it's been in the media a lot, hasn't it, about how heavy the schedule is, and it is. But it's something personally that I really enjoy. I like the fact there's a lot of games of cricket. So it's about managing those guys, and especially the fast bowlers. We can't keep asking them to go out there and bowl 2, 3, 4 spells and then backing it up the week after that. So we'll have to be smart and we'll have to pick games and horses for courses a little bit, but that's the fun of being a captain and a leader, I suppose.
You mentioned the captaincy there. How much did you enjoy that first season as club captain and all the challenges it throws up?
Yeah, I learned a hell of a lot, and I'm still learning a hell of a lot. It's something that I've really enjoyed, and hopefully the guys have enjoyed having me lead them as well. So it helps that I've got a group of guys that sort of lead themselves, and I've got some really strong individuals within that dressing room, such as Joe Leach, Charlie Morris, Jake Libby. So I don't have to do too much leading in terms of shouting and bawling, because the group doesn't need that. But it's one thing I've really enjoyed is taking those boys on the field and challenging them in a way that helps us win games of cricket.
You got off to the perfect start on a personal note with that great 100 at Leicester last year. I mean, I guess in the years to come you'll probably look back on that with a real sense of pride. That first game as club captain, a century. Yeah,
absolutely. It's one of those games that it couldn't have gone much better really. To lead the boys out for the first game and do well personally. It would have been even better if we'd have won the game. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get over the line, but that's okay. We put in some great performances throughout the year, I thought.
You've got a new head coach as well this winter, although obviously you know him very well, Alan Richardson. How important is that coach-captaincy partnership?
Yeah, obviously it's really important, isn't it? And like you mentioned there, I played a few games with Richo when he was a player here, so know him really well. We get on really well as well, so it's important that we keep that relationship open and keep communicating to get the best out of the guys and get the best out of ourselves.
Talking about relationships, how important as well is it for the members to feel part of things, to have that great relationship with the players and the coaches?
Yeah, it's huge for us. It's, that's one thing that gets the guys going when they come to the ground and they see the members in the stand. They want to go out and perform for the members, and hopefully there was glimpses of that last year, and moving into this season we can do it throughout all three formats for them.
Now this year as well, you'll be taking on the mantle of captain for the Vitality Blast. What was the thinking behind that, Brett?
Well, the first year I wanted to really focus on the red ball cricket, and obviously Moeen Ali was obviously head of that department in terms of captaincy. We then had Colin Monroe do it for a little bit, and then obviously when Ben Cox was available, Ben Cox did it. And it was something that Richo just approached me about and asked me if I'd be open to doing it. And at the time last year, I just as I said, I wanted to focus on that red ball stuff. But I feel like I've sort of come to terms with what's expected in that. So to add this onto my plate now in terms of the T20, I feel like I'm ready to do that, and I feel like I've got some great people around me in that T20 side that can help me through that, like Jack Haynes, who's been made vice captain. And then obviously Mitchell Santner, who's coming over, who's got experience in captaincy. And then obviously a lot of experienced guys in that T20 group, Adam Hose as well. So, although I'm the captain, I probably won't have to do too much. Those guys amongst that group will lead themselves. So it's something I'm really excited about. Because
you have had spells doing it in the past, obviously. I think you were captain for quite a few games in 2019 when we got to the final.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, when Moeen wasn't available, I sort of took on that role, and again, something that I really enjoyed. And actually, when I was thinking about it, I had a good chat with Moeen over it, and he was quite keen for me to do it. He said that it will bring the best out of my cricket, so fingers crossed that'll happen.
Now, you've already mentioned Adam Hose, obviously, but how excited are all the lads about having his armoury added to our team?
Yeah, it's massive, isn't it? I think when you have a player of Adam's calibre in your team, it's it's a real secret weapon at times, and I think he showed his power and his ability to score runs consistently across the last 2 to 3 years. Hence all his call-ups for England Lions, the Big Bash. Obviously that game that stands out at Warwickshire, unfortunately. But really excited to have him in our group. Don't know him really well just yet, but I'm getting to know him better and better. And one thing that is standing out, he's a strong character, he's a leader without knowing that he's leading. So yeah, really excited to have him in our team.
He's going to be so full of confidence after what he's done in the Big Bash. I mean, Jason Gillespie was full of praise for him. He's going to really gain from that sort of experience, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's something that I'm looking forward to learning from him. Actually, I've already asked the question: what can you bring from that environment into our environment to help our team to evolve? And that's something that he's thinking about, and I'm sure he'll come up with some great ideas for us.
Yeah, you've got Michael Bracewell and Mitchell Santner coming in as well. I mean, it looks a real powerful looking squad now for the Blast.
Yeah, and I think having those guys come in from overseas and having 2 more bowling options, genuine bowling options as well, within the spin department, it allows great balance for our team. So we can sort of chop and change a little bit, although I don't want to do too much chopping and changing. but certain guys can play in slightly different roles at times, so that allows us to have a bit of fluidity throughout the squad.
I'm sure the Rapids fans as well and support would have been really excited by watching some of their performances on TV in the winter.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope they watched it closely, and it filled me with excitement watching them, just seeing their ability on show really, and hoping that they can bring that to New Road.
After last year's challenges in the Blast, you sense the players' determination to recapture that form from 2018-2019?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we all know it wasn't good enough last year, and we hold our hands up for that. But one thing I can tell you, it's not through a lack of effort. It's through, there's been a lot of hard work and dedication throughout this winter, and a lot of sit down and talking about where we can get better. And I've got a lot of trust in those guys that what they've done in the winter will stand us in good stead going into this summer.
You seem to love it, Brett. You've been the T20 Player of the Year now, 2 years running.
Yeah, I'm just, T20 is a great format to play in, isn't it? And it's something that I've thoroughly enjoyed, and my role's changed slightly throughout the years. Obviously at the top of the order now, which a lot of people say is the best place to bat, and I don't disagree. I need the fielders up to be able to score the boundaries. So yeah, just grateful to play really.
It seems hard to believe now that there's more than a decade since you made your debut for Worcestershire.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't feel like that at all. I still feel like I'm 16, 17, and I still feel like I'm the joker amongst the group. I have to put my captaincy hat on now and again and stop cracking the jokes. But no, just grateful to have the opportunity to play here for so long.
How much do you think that you've developed as a cricketer in that 10, 11 years?
Oh, good question. Yeah, I think my role's changed dramatically, I think, from 4-day cricket and white ball cricket throughout the years. And I think you do have a natural evolution of things as you do that, and I think I've improved in certain areas, but I still feel like I've got a lot more to give and a lot more to improve on. So that's something I think guys that play for a long period of time, they're never happy with where they're at, and I'm certainly not. And I really want to win trophies for this club, and I want to be a successful captain at doing that.
At the other end of the scale, you've got Rayhan, Ollie, and Henry. Just how much have they come on this winter? I mean, their first year as pros.
Yeah, look, 3 guys that have really, really impressed me. Just first and foremost as individuals, just lovely characters, great to be around. They give me energy when they come into the group. They give the other guys energy, and they're confident. And they get chucked in at the deep end a little bit, coming in to train with the pros, and it's great to see how they work through that. And at times it's a real challenge for them, but at other times they take to it quite easily. The way they speak about the game is very mature, and I have great faith that they'll have great careers within this club. They
really seem to have benefited from going abroad this winter.
Yeah, absolutely. To have obviously Henry Cullen's away in Australia, and I know he's been scoring some runs. I've had a little bit of text messaging with him, and then obviously Rayhan and Ollie Cox, who have been sort of in and out. Rayhan's been to India, I think Ollie's been to Australia as well. And then the junior PSL league as well, so he's had some experience of sort of franchise cricket at such a young age. And watching what they've brought back to the group and how they go about their cricket is really interesting. And to have them out in Desert Springs and to watch them train for a week closely is something that I was really impressed by.
Now, away from cricket, I know you're a big Chelsea fan. How confident are you they're going to win the Champions League?
You say big, I'm not massive. I've been to Stamford Bridge, I reckon, 8 times. I'm not full of confidence, but what I will say is if those group of players click, I think we could win the Champions League, yeah.
Well, thanks ever so much, Brett, and all the best for the forthcoming season.
Thanks, John.